Well, it's time for all the sport with Brandon and some welcome good news for Aberdeen at the weekend.
Yeah, well, after a well-publicised poor run of form, it was a decent win at the weekend over Hibs, and hopefully that should ease some pressure on manager Stephen Glass.
Yeah.
Get your fill of the action. STV Sport, sponsored by Papa John's Pizza.
Good evening. It was the worst start to a season for an Aberdeen side for a decade, but that frustrating run of form was finally brought to an end on Saturday with a single goal over Hibs. The victory should ease some pressure on manager Stephen Glass, but it's come at the expense of two Dons players. Elsewhere, it was a great weekend for both Dundee sides, but the hard luck story continued in Dingwall. Ross County stay rooted at the bottom of the Premiership, now the only team in the division without a win. After a week of chat over his future, this was the result that Don's boss Stephen Glass was hoping for. This Christian Ramirez strike enough to earn Aberdeen a much-needed victory, their first win since the 8th of August. But 3 points came at the expense of two players. Calvin Ramsey and Declan Gallagher limped off. That amounts to 5 key players on the sidelines for Aberdeen's trip to Ibrox on Wednesday. Elsewhere, Dundee United continued their inspired form at home to Motherwell. United can thank Captain Fantastic Charlie Mulgrew twice over. Firstly, for this wonderful cross which put it on a plate for Ryan Edwards. Secondly, for popping up with this acrobatic, albeit scrappy winner.
We can only concentrate on ourselves and we can't control what anybody else says about us. All I can say is that we are not getting too carried away. We're pleased with how we've started. We still feel we've got lots of ways to improve and there's lots of different things to work on. The players deserve credit, but there's a hell of a lot more to do for us.
Meanwhile, their city rivals Dundee earned a great point away to a flying Hearts side. It was backs to the walls for most of the match. This Jason Cummings goal levelling the sides late.
It's a good point away from home, but it only becomes a good point if we get a positive result and positive performance on Wednesday night, and that's all we're looking at now. And look, I think they have been confident. There's real belief in that squad, there's real quality in the squad.
Dundee's point pushed them further up the table from struggling Ross County. The Dingwall side are rooted at the bottom without a win all season and lost out again to a late Livingston winner. Manager Malky Mackay says they must improve before Wednesday's crucial bottom-of-the-table clash.
And it's just that little bit of Robbie the Green being extra clinical, not missing penalties, glaring individual errors that are changed. So these are all the little things that I think that we've got to look at in the next few weeks.
Elsewhere, St Johnstone made it 2 defeats in a row away to Celtic. The Perth side were 1-0 down after some scrappy defending, and it ended 2-0 after a Celtic penalty. Saints will be looking to bounce back when they host Hearts at McDermott Park on Wednesday. Scotland star Jen Beattie says it's vitally important that women take opportunities to screen for breast cancer. Beattie, who also plays for Arsenal, was diagnosed with the disease last year. She says catching her condition early helped and wants to open conversations this Breast Cancer Awareness Month. The defender will be part of Pedro Martinez Losa's side to face Sweden tomorrow.
Me personally, I had zero family history of breast cancer or any type of cancer, so it's not to categorise that it's only going to be one type of person that gets it, and it's more common than we think, but if we go get checked and find these things early, then it can be okay.
To cricket, and I'm afraid it's grim news for Scotland. They've been thrashed by Afghanistan in their opening group match at the T20 Cricket World Cup. With a look back at today's performance, here's Raman Bardwaj.
Scotland's decision to open the bowling with spinner Michael Leask proved costly. He conceded 18 runs from his first over. Shahzad went for one too many. Safyan Sharif with the breakthrough. Afghanistan were 54 for 1 in the 6th over. Zazai was 6 short of his half-century when he was bowled by Michael Watt. The onslaught continued with Ramanullah and Najib finding their range. It was tough going for the Scottish bowlers as the Afghan batsman found the boundary at will. Najib fell off the final ball of the innings. Scotland were set a target of 191. George Munsey signalled his intent from the off. Then Mujib ripped through Scotland's top order. Cal Coetzer fell for 10. Callum MacLeod was out first ball. Then Richie Berrington went for a duck. Another wicket, another duck. Michael Cross was next to go. When Munsey fell, the Scots were 36 for 5. Rashid dismissed Leask for a duck. Greaves was next to go. Scotland were eventually bowled out for just 60. Afghanistan won by 130 runs.
Rahman Bardwar's reporting there. And finally, in cycling, Katie Archibald capped off a fine week by winning silver in the women's point race at the Track World Championships. It was the Scots' 4th medal of the week, having already won gold in the women's Omnium and bronze in the Madison and team pursuit. And that's all from me this evening. There'll be plenty more tomorrow.
Get your fill of the action. STV Sport, sponsored by Papa John's Pizza.